comes in. He's the young man who's really lit up the Amex in recent weeks. 3 goals in his last 5 appearances. So this is how Brighton will line up. Steele is the goalkeeper, Lamptey at right back, Webster, Dunk and Estupinian, the defenders, with Gross moving forward to play alongside McAllister in midfield, March, Ferguson and Mitoma behind Danny Welbeck. Of course, it's just over 2 weeks since Liverpool produced that dreadful performance here to lose at Brighton in the Premier League, and that was a performance that Jurgen Klopp described as the worst he's seen from any of his teams. Today they have a chance for redemption, and of course they're the FA Cup holders, so also the chance to reach the 5th round. One change to the Liverpool side that drew in the Premier League with Chelsea, that ball draw at Anfield last weekend. Trent Alexander-Arnold replaces James Milner, who is on the bench. Alisson then in goal. Alexander-Arnold, Konate, Gomez and Robertson.
After 500 yards, leave the roundabout at the first exit and continue to follow the B1033.
Contract this week, the youngster, and Thiago with Salah, Elliott and Cody Gakpo, who still seeks his first Liverpool goal, the front three.
Oh, Gakpo? I think he sounds like something.
Please take the first exit.
I expect Brighton will be hoping none of their players play too well so they don't get signed by someone else.
Oh, it's the proverbial issue, isn't it, for Brighton and Hove Albion and Roberto De Zerbi.
Now turn off to the left.
September the 18th to take over from Graham Potter. They've already
After 500 yards, leave the roundabout at the second exit and continue to follow the B1033 towards Thorpe Lesoken.
Talented young players in this side, and Caicedo appears to be the latest. Look, it's very difficult, isn't it, to knock back interest from clubs like Arsenal and Chelsea, and it's been interesting listening to.
Please take the second exit.
To Caicedo like a father, not as a coach. He says he completely understands when a player's got the chance to move to a new club, and De Zerbi said a very big club in the shape of Arsenal or maybe at Chelsea.
Please follow the B1033 for 3 miles.
But also to give advice for his career and his life. Brighton's stance, as I say, is unchanged. They do not want to sell Moises Caicedo. They certainly don't want to sell him this window. So there is a bit of a standoff ongoing at the moment. There are only, of course, a match of days for Brighton to hang on. The window closes on Tuesday night, and TalkSport will have all of the updates. But you feel it is difficult to really say to a player that you can't leave when a club like Arsenal, who may well go on to win the league, come calling it. It's a very tough position for Brighton to be in because they've done such great work this season again.
I don't necessarily agree, Joe. He's Brighton's player. He's contracted to Brighton. If Brighton don't want to sell him, they don't have to. And just because, they would make a massive profit on him, that seems, the Arsenal fans seem to think that gives Arsenal a divine right to take him from Brighton. And even if they do sell him, they probably have someone just as good lined up to take his place that no other team has spotted yet.
And that's the beauty of Brighton and Hove Albion, isn't it? Their recruitment is outstanding. When these new signings, these young players, and there's a crop of South American players in particular who've been so exciting, and the Japanese player Mitoma as well, Ferguson, the young Irishman who's come through to suddenly become a star of the first team. They seem to evolve continually, and they seem to prove everybody wrong with their recruitment season after season. Now, I agree with you, Barry. I don't think Arsenal have a divine right. I don't think any club has a divine right to go and take any player. I can understand the temptation from Caicedo, but when you look at it from Brighton's perspective, they're 6th in the Premier League, a real chance this season of European football. Why can't they have a run in the FA Cup either? If they can beat the holders Liverpool today, they'll be through to the 5th round, and there'll be real optimism. They've never won the FA Cup, Brighton, so you think that possibly the next step for this club is really competing for a domestic trophy, maybe a League Cup, maybe an FA Cup this season. So I think there's a real sense of positivity, a real sense of forward motion at the club, and actually Roberto De Zerbi has done a fantastic job since taking over from Graham Potter. So I totally understand the frustrations of Brighton supporters as well. It's a difficult situation. Either way, it'll be resolved at least for a few months by the time we get to Tuesday night, Wednesday morning.
Shoeless Joe Shannon, should we go with that? Just trying out.
Where's that come from?
Well, Shoeless Joe is a famous sporting story.
Hello, mate.
Hello, mate. How you doing?
All right, you?
Yes, I'm just approaching Thorpe Lesoken. Are you all right for us to pop to yours first, or you
Yes, mate, yeah,
running around
sure.
naked?
No, I'll see you in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, all right, mate. I'll give you a ring at the gate. All right, mate. Bye-bye.
Tell mate, bye.
Oh my God.
I lived here for 3 years, so actually, yeah, I've done it many times on a cold
Wow.
afternoon that I should agree with.
Oh, you need to go to the toilet.
I think that's suitable. Yeah, people know more than that about me. It's absolutely
Well, is it
fine.
like a nerve pain you think though, about? Danny, why have you just turned that off?
You interviewed Duncan Ferguson after his first game as Forest Green manager yesterday. How did that go?
Oh,
I
is
did,
it you?
and
Did I do it or did you do it?
Say that I feel better than a Forest Green Rover
No,
defender
it doesn't come
this
back with a
morning
map.
because
I don't
the
understand
glare
it.
that Duncan Ferguson gave them after that second Shrewsbury goal went in,
It just doesn't do
it
it
sent
properly,
me into
man.
despair. So yeah, I can't imagine
So
how
every
they would
time
feel.
I've
If
got
I
to
was
do-
one of those Forest Green defenders, I think I would have got the
I
supporters
know where
bus
I'm
home, to
going,
be
but
honest. But
I got a
yeah,
map.
it was absolutely fine because I think it was win-win for him yesterday, wasn't it? Because he'd only
Switches
had
off
one
every time
training
if I could
session,
get a
so if
phone
they
call.
lose, it's almost like, well, it's
Don't
not
really
really my
understand
team.
it.
I've not had that much time to work with them. If they win, you take all the credit. So I think it was win-win. But to lose in that manner when
Harry Friday,
Shrewsbury
Danny,
really
remember?
worked at the races yesterday, and
Remember?
Forest Green for such large spells really dominated. It was a fantastic goal from Garrick as well to give them the lead.
After 250 yards, leave the roundabout at the second exit and continue to follow the
I
B1033.
think there are so many positives that Forest Green can take from that. So I don't think he was too down, despite, of course, conceding in the 94th and the 98th. You're never going to be thrilled, are you, doing post-match? But
Yeah.
I don't think he was as down as he could have been because there were so many positives for him. to
Please
from
take
that
the second
performance. You've
exit.
got a number of players, Charlie Savage, his dad was there watching yesterday. He didn't come off the bench, but he's someone to look at going forward. And there were a number of good performances in there as well.
Please follow the B1033 for 1 mile.
Being bottom of the league. Their loan signing on Yango looked particularly good in midfield yesterday.
Yeah, Forest Green this season do have a bit of a history of letting in very late goals, so that might just be a little bit of a hangover from the Ian Birchnell days. You were watching yesterday, I saw on your Twitter, Abigail, that we were watching yesterday with the darts on and a pie, which sounds like a very good afternoon, doesn't it, Barry?
Absolutely.
Perfect. Is that your perfect afternoon, Abigail?
It really is. It says a lot about me. I will say that when the football kicked off,